Hello everybody and welcome to the first video of 2025, or my first video of 2025. So Happy New Year everybody. I apologize, I haven't been as active these past few months. This video was actually supposed to have been up in December, but Christmas being busy, I sadly didn't get the time for it, but it's here and that's all. But if you haven't read the title, we are visiting the Memphis mansion, better known as the Elvis Presley Museum, located in the northern part of Denmark in a town called Randers. Now, Randers can be a little quirky, but it doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of good things to see, and this is one of the examples. So I hope that you guys will join me on this little video, and let's take a look around and see what this place has to offer. And we have arrived. Here are the opening hours for the museum if you were curious. Now when you walk through the gates into Memphis Mansion, you will notice some music playing, which is Elvis Presley music, of course, which is a nice touch. When you walk in, it kind of sets the vibe. And also here on the right is a Johnny Cash museum. It's a little smaller than the Elvis one, but this is an addition they added I think a few years ago. So that's a nice thing too. And the great part is, when you buy a ticket for the Elvis Presley Museum, you also get access to the Johnny Cash Museum as well. And ticket prices are around 20 euros for an adult and 12 for kids, which is age 13 to 17. Here on the left, you'll see the Tupelo house. We'll be visiting or exploring this a little more later. But this is a 1-to-1 scale of where Elvis grew up as a kid in Tupelo. So that's a cool addition to the museum as well, to kind of give you the scale of what it was like living back then. And right here on the right, it's actually a life-sized size of Elvis Presley. So if you have ever wondered how tall he was, or if you wanted to compare yourself to him, that's an opportunity. And here's the front of the museum itself. It is a replica of his own home back in Memphis, although this version you see here in Denmark is actually almost twice as big. Now, let's get inside and get something to eat, because I want to show you some of the food options they have. Yes, you can actually eat at the museum, and they have a lot of Elvis-themed or American-themed food options here, one of them being one of Elvis Presley's favorite food. As you can tell right there, you can read it on the menu. And I just recommend the burgers, because they are just amazing and great. And prices are actually quite good. Now, moving on to the merch store. I didn't really mention this before, but when you enter the museum, the diner where you eat is on the right and the merch is on the left. And you'll have to go straight ahead to get to the museum, but you'll still need to get to the merch store to buy the ticket anyway, unless you've bought them online or something. But I wanted to just show you what the merch store has to offer. Obviously, you've got your clothing, but also many other small things that I think that the most Elvis fan would appreciate. You got your CDs. We've bought a lot of CDs from this place. DVDs. You can get books as well. And also jewelry as well. You'll see this in a minute. Most of the things that are locked behind cabinets, I believe, are worth quite a lot. You can also get magnets, mugs, anything that you could think of that a merch store would have. If you are a huge Elvis fan, I would recommend you visiting this place. I can't recommend this place enough to you. The sad part is that it is located in Randers. Not that the fact it is Randers, but more the fact that public transport is probably a little more difficult. If you are like on a road trip in Denmark and you happen to just visit the middle part, go and visit this place. Give this place some love, because these people really care. You can really tell that these people are huge Elvis fans. And this place really deserves as much attention as it can get. So if you are around, it's probably most easy by car, but if you're dedicated enough, you can definitely get there through public transport. It's probably going to be a little bit difficult if you're traveling from outside the country. And now we've entered the main museum. This is what this whole video is mostly about. Now, of course, as I usually do when I visit these museums, I'm not really going to show you everything. I'm going to show a select few things because I do want you, or at least I really encourage you to visit this place yourself. I was allowed to film a little bit and even upload it to YouTube, but I still just wanted to show a few things because they have a lot of cool things that I thought you should just experience for yourself. But I'll talk about a few things here. One of the things here, as you can see, a motorboat and a huge American boat. Two boats, actually. The car and the boat itself. I can't remember if it was a Cadillac or a Lincoln, but all this was owned by Elvis and donated to the museum, which is a really cool thing. So it's not like a replica or anything. These things, the things that you see, not just including this, are actually things Elvis has owned, or some people that have been related to him have. And that's just a cool thing, like the history behind it. And we always visit this place once a year because not only is it such a nice vibe in here, but they have a lot of things, like even the clothing, guitars, basses, things that are worth a lot of money, actually. Now I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the museum just before we enter the little cinema that they have here. Now when you walk into the cinema, you'll be greeted by this man, Henrik Knudsen. He's the man that made this whole museum possible. And in this little mini-movie, he gives a little introduction to the museum, how it was possible to build it, and how he became a huge Elvis fan. Sadly, there isn't an English version of this movie that I know of, because it is in Danish. I haven't seen any English version being played. I don't know, maybe there's a way for you to get it, but it's a nice video, and it really gave us that like extra depth to the museum. So if you are a Danish speaking or Danish understanding person, you should watch this movie first, because he talks a lot about things, how he became a fan. It was after his death, of Elvis's death. And I believe that it was in 2010 he began construction of the museum, or it was finished in 2010. I can't recall it, but that it was a bit hard to find funding for this. But it was a really nice video, and there's a lot of funny clips and from Elvis through the movies, and also from when he was singing. So it's a nice introduction to Elvis and the museum itself. So you should definitely start with watching this movie, if you get the chance to. And with that, we reached the end of the Elvis Presley Museum. Obviously, we still have a little more to show, but this was definitely a great experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of it as well. Now we've reached the Tupelo house. This is the home, I mentioned before, that Elvis and his family grew up in. And just like imagine like some places in the world today, like this is just what a bedroom is. Like this was the house that they slept in, that they lived in. And that's really crazy. And an amazing story, like when you think about where he started and how big he got, and sadly passed too early, but it is a really cool feature that you have to the museum to kind of give you a sense of scale. And last but not least, we're gonna see a little bit from the Johnny Cash Museum as well. The layout here is a little different. You can kind of tell it's a little more DIY, but that doesn't take away the great experience that there is here. It's sort of similar as well to the Elvis Museum. You got your regular merch you can buy and a lot of cool stuff from Johnny Cash himself. Now I'm gonna just be quiet and let you enjoy the rest of the museum as well before we end the video. And with that, our little trip to Memphis Mansion comes to an end. This was a shorter video than what I'm used to do, but this was just a museum, so of course it's going to be a little shorter. Thank you guys so much for joining me and watching this video. I really appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos, who likes my videos, who comments on my videos. It really means a lot to me. I'm still trying to find my footing in the YouTube world, or the way I'm trying to make these videos. So yeah, I just also quickly wanted to talk about 2025. I do have more plans. I've actually recently filmed a video in this year, and you're gonna see what that is once I upload it. But I have other places that I want to visit in this year, some places in Denmark and some places outside. We shall see what's here to come. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all in my next video. Have a great day, all. See ya.